Have you ever found yourself wondering when to use the Spanish verbs hablar, contar, and decir? If you have, don't worry because today I've got you covered. I'll break down the uses of these three verbs and, as always, we'll explore them in real-life situations through a story to make it all clear. Hello everyone and welcome back to Fluency Rocks. This is the channel where we unveil the keys to mastering languages. I'm Carolina, a certified Spanish teacher hailing from Colombia. And regardless your current level in Spanish, I'm here to lead you on a captivating journey toward achieving proficiency in this language. Before we jump into how to use hablar, decir, and contar, I want to clarify that I won't be showing you conjugation tables for these verbs. You can easily find those online. Today I'm here to focus on their real-life usages and give you practical examples. Okay, with that out of the way, let's jump right into our topic. The verb hablar in Spanish is translated into English as to speak or to talk. It's a regular verb and you can use it alone or in various sentences to talk about the languages you speak, who's having a conversation, and the way people communicate. Let's see how hablar by itself works. Hablar on its own is used to refer to the general act of speaking or talking. Let's illustrate this with some examples. No me gusta mucho hablar, prefiero escuchar. I don't like to talk much, I prefer to listen. Me gusta cómo habla el profesor de alemán. I like how the German teacher speaks. En estos días no estamos hablando muy a menudo. These days we are not talking very often. Now, there's something important you need to know. If you are not subscribed to my channel with all notifications on, you may miss my new videos. So, to keep getting more content like this, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. A very common way to use hablar is when we talk about the languages we can speak. In this particular case, the translation of hablar into English would be to speak. Pay attention to these examples. ¿Cuántos idiomas hablas? How many languages do you speak? No hablamos francés. We don't speak French. Me gustaría hablar alemán algún día. I would like to speak German one day. We use hablar when we want to state what language is spoken in a certain place, and in this case, we use the phrase se habla. By the way, this grammatical construction is called the impersonal se. I'll make a video about that in the future. Okay, now let's see a few examples. En Ecuador se habla español. Spanish spoken in Ecuador. ¿Sabes qué idioma se habla en Letonia? Do you know what language is spoken in Latvia? En esta casa se habla italiano y español. Italian and Spanish are spoken in this house. En general, en Canadá se hablan dos idiomas oficiales. In general, 2 official languages are spoken in Canada. Hablar is used to indicate who someone is talking to, and in this case, we use the conjunction con. For example, quiero hablar con Adriana. I want to talk to Adriana. Tenemos que hablar con la profesora. We have to talk to the teacher. ¿Por qué no quieres hablar conmigo? Why don't you want to talk to me? Elena necesita hablar contigo. Elena needs to talk to you. By the way, in case you are wondering, con plus me becomes conmigo, and it means with me. And con plus ti becomes contigo, and it means with you. Hablar por is used to talk about how people communicate. Take a look at the following examples. A mí no me gusta hablar por teléfono. I don't like to talk on the phone. Ellas hablan por Zoom una vez por semana. they talk on Zoom once a week. When we want to express our opinions and ideas, we usually use the combination hablar plus de or hablar plus sobre, although hablar plus de is way more common. Anyway, both expressions mean to talk about. Let's see the following examples. En esta empresa no podemos hablar de política. In this company we cannot talk about politics. Más tarde tenemos que hablar sobre nuestro viaje a Costa Rica. Later we have to talk about our trip to Costa Rica. Enrique no quiso hablar del accidente. Enrique didn't want to talk about the accident. In this last example, we come across hablar plus del, and in case you are not familiar, del is the combination of the preposition de and the article el. We use it after a masculine singular noun. Decir is an irregular verb in pretty much all its forms, and it has its own uses. Whereas we use hablar to talk about the act of speaking in general, we usually use the verb decir to refer to the content of what has been said or told. Therefore, decir is normally translated into English as to say or to tell. Now, as I just mentioned, decir is used to talk about what people said or told. Let's illustrate this with a few examples. La señora no me dijo cuánto cuesta la libra de peras. The lady didn't tell me how much a pound of pears cost. Espera un momento, te tengo que decir algo importante. Wait a minute, I have to tell you something important. Carmen no quiere decir nada. Carmen doesn't want to say anything. As you can see in the previous examples, the verb decir is translated as to tell in the first and second sentences and as to say in the third. But the choice between these translations depended on the context and the specific meaning of decir in each sentence. Now, let's analyze each one individually. In the sentence, la señora no me dijo cuánto cuesta la libra de peras, the lady didn't tell me how much a pound of pears cost, decir is translated as to tell because it implies that the lady did not convey information to the speaker. The focus is on the act of conveying or sharing information, so to tell is more appropriate in this context. In the second sentence, espera un momento, te tengo que decir algo importante. Wait a minute, I have to tell you something important. Decir is also translated as to tell because it indicates that the speaker needs to share or convey important information to the listener. Again, the emphasis is on conveying information. Now, in the third sentence, Carmen no quiere decir nada. Carmen doesn't want to say anything. The verb decir is translated as to say because it refers to Carmen's willingness or desire to speak or utter words. The focus is on the act of speaking itself rather than the act of conveying information to someone else. So the choice between the translations to tell and to say depends on whether the context emphasizes the act of conveying information to someone to tell or the act of speaking or uttering words to say. Decir is frequently used with que to repeat information, express opinions, or issue commands. For example, Andrea me dijo que vas a estudiar filosofía el año que viene. Andrea told me that you are going to study philosophy next year. Mi prima dice que las frutas y verduras son más caras en el hipermercado. My cousin says that fruits and vegetables are more expensive in the hypermarket. Antonio me dijo que aplicara para el trabajo de gerente de ventas. Antonio told me to apply for the job of sales manager. Contar is also an irregular verb. It's usually translated into English as to tell, and we use this verb when the story being shared has specific details. In simple terms, contar is used when someone is telling an event, situation, story, or anecdote. Let's pay attention to these examples. Mariana me contó todas sus experiencias en Jamaica. Mariana told me all her experiences in Jamaica. Isabel nos va a contar cómo consiguió su nuevo trabajo. Isabel is going to tell us how she got her new job. Cuéntame lo que pasó en la boda de Jaime. Tell me what happened at Jaime's wedding. Okay, I'm well aware that many students can mix up decir and contar. So, to clarify this confusion, we must remember that decir means to tell or to say. It's like when we share information or words with someone. Also, let's not forget that we use decir when we want to communicate something to another person and the message is simple, it's not loaded with details. For example, Elena me dijo la dirección de tu casa. Elena told me the address of your home. Marcos dijo que va a llover. Marcos said it's going to rain. On the other hand, contar normally means to tell, and it's more like telling a story or giving details. So we use contar when we are narrating or explaining something. For example, les conté a los niños una historia divertida. I told the children a funny story. Juan me contó sobre su viaje a Noruega. Juan told me about his trip to Norway. Now, here's a simple way to choose the right verb. Use decir when you are talking about sharing information or words with someone, like telling a fact, an idea, or a secret. Use contar when you are talking about telling a story or explaining something in more detail, like recounting an event or sharing a narrative. So, it's a bit like using decir for short messages and contar for longer, detailed stories. Just pay attention to the context and you'll get the hang of it in no time. Okay, now let's talk about something super fun, the magic of stories. I think one of the best ways to become really good at languages is by listening and reading a lot. To make it fun, I've crafted a short story to show you how to use the verbs hablar, decir, and contar in everyday situations. Now, let's jump into our story. Un encuentro inesperado. Manuel y Sofía eran amigos de la infancia. Habían compartido risas, secretos y aventuras inolvidables a lo largo de los años. Aunque no hablaban a menudo debido a las ocupaciones de cada uno, su amistad seguía siendo sólida y cuando se reunían hablaban de muchos temas, pues tenían muchas cosas en común. Una tarde de sábado, sin previo aviso, Manuel llamó a Sofía para invitarla a su casa para ver una película. A ambos les gustaba hablar mientras veían películas, comentando las tramas y los personajes. Al encontrarse en la sala, Manuel notó que Sofía tenía un libro en alemán en las manos. Sofía, emocionada, le dijo a Manuel que estaba aprendiendo alemán. Le contó sobre su deseo de viajar a Alemania algún día. Manuel, impresionado, comentó: «Me gusta cómo hablas alemán, deberías enseñarme algunas frases». Sofía, con una sonrisa en el rostro, accedió y comenzó a decir algunas palabras en alemán. Fue entonces cuando Manuel se dio cuenta de cuánto había extrañado esas conversaciones con su amiga. Después de la película, Manuel decidió decir algo importante. «Sofía, ha sido genial verte de nuevo. Quiero hablar contigo con más frecuencia y mantener nuestra amistad viva». Sofía asintió con alegría y respondió: «Yo también quiero hablar contigo, Manuel. Siempre he valorado nuestra amistad». Manuel cambió de tema y dijo: «Por cierto, me enteré de que hablas danés y japonés también. Eso es increíble». Sofía se rió y le contó sus aventuras en Dinamarca y Japón. Mientras compartía sus historias, Manuel se sintió afortunado de tener una amiga tan fascinante. Después de un rato, Manuel le dijo a Sofía: «Hoy me contaste sobre tus viajes y a mí me gustaría viajar también. ¿Quisieras viajar en el futuro conmigo?». Sofía respondió emocionada: «Claro que sí, eso sería genial. Quiero visitar Moldavia, donde se habla rumano y ruso. Parece un lugar fascinante». Manuel dijo: «Me parece una excelente idea. Viajemos juntos cuando llegue el momento». Sofía, con una gran sonrisa, aceptó emocionada: «Sería genial, Manuel». Antes de que Sofía se fuera, Manuel le dijo: «Hoy fue grandioso. Quiero hablar más contigo en el futuro. No quiero que pase mucho tiempo sin vernos». Sofía asintió con firmeza y respondió: «Definitivamente, Manuel, tenemos que hacer más planes juntos». Mientras se despedían, Manuel dijo: «Hablemos por teléfono ocasionalmente para mantenernos al tanto». «Claro, eso suena bien». Antes de irse, Sofía dijo: «Manuel, te prometo que voy a escribirte pronto por WhatsApp. Tengo muchas historias que contarte. Estaré esperando tus mensajes. Hasta pronto». Y así, en ese encuentro inesperado, Manuel y Sofía renovaron su amistad, prometiendo mantener el vínculo inquebrantable que los unía. Here you have it, a story to help you understand how hablar, decir, and contar are used in real-life situations. Keep in mind, the more you practice, the better you'll become. So, get your Spanish notebook and start incorporating these verbs into your sentences. You'll sound more fluent and closer to a native speaker before you know it. Now, here is a crucial point to remember. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button and turned all notifications on, there's a possibility you could miss out on my upcoming videos, and you wouldn't want that to happen, would you? So, to keep getting more content like this, please give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and make sure to ring that notification bell. Please don't hesitate to share your thoughts in the comments down below. You know I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Before I go, I have a question for you. Did you know that the present simple in Spanish goes way beyond everyday actions? To give you a clue, it can even be used to express past events. So, if you want to learn more about this tense, I bet you will really enjoy watching my video titled Present Simple in Spanish, Beyond Everyday Actions. It's a great choice if you want to learn the multiple uses of this tense and see everything in context. Click here to watch this awesome video and keep rocking your language learning goals.